thank you so much for joining us here. Hi.
Hello, fellow humans. Here we go.
Yeah, and we're a pretty new program, Can't Be Censored. We started this together about a month ago.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So,
Thank you so much.
Courageous.
and with anything new that you start, it's always
Go.
go.
So you went to get the biggest troublemaker?
First, no. Here, I'll tell you, because this came together so quickly, the interview with you, and we wanted to read your book before and do our research before we talked to you. So I picked up your book. Travis downloaded your audiobook. And so we're all frantic. We're running. I sit down with your book, dig into the first chapter, and it felt like a big exhale for the first time in a long time, right?
Yeah, you're going to get me teary from the get-go. It was a big exhale for me to write it. Yes.
Yeah.
It demanded that I poured my heart out and part of my truth as a human being. And the truth is, I'm an only child and I feel connected to other people. Other people are a source of nourishment to me, for me. So I have a deep love for humans. I really do. You can't fake that shit.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, as Carmen was saying, right? Like I've met you a couple times in like official capacities at like galas and stuff like that. And that is a version of Sophie. But I felt like while I was listening, because I took the train up, right? And I had some time to listen on the train. And yesterday I was listening.
I love the train. I work so well in a train. Oh my God.
Yeah. But I felt like I got to know you, on a deeper level, because you kind of, you're pretty vulnerable in this book as well. But was it a struggle, even in this conversation? I'm like, how much of myself, because I want to ask you your advice on some things, how much of myself do I put out there and how much do I keep for me? So did you struggle with that?
There's not much you could tell me that could shock me, right? First of all, I'm a Quebecer. And second of all, like I've heard so much, I've seen so much. And it's the more I meet humans, the more I realize we all long for the same thing. And that's to be loved, seen for who we are, without changing our behavior to please this world. And unfortunately, we're rewarded for self-betrayal, whether it's physically, how to conform, performance-wise, competitive, competition, individualistic culture. It's all making us actually quite sick. And I intend to continue to live in authenticity. Does it mean you have to, pour out everything in the first 5 minutes you meet somebody?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, elegance, discernment, integrity, coherence, those are qualities that if you work hard enough and you have a discipline in your life where you're dedicated and you keep at it, which is the one thing I have to say, I have so many flaws, but I kept the discipline through everything. And that yoga mat, and it's not just yoga, it's other things, and we can talk about it later, but it saw tears of joy, of gratitude, of reverence, of anger, of sadness, of everything, right? Trying to make sense out of life in different ways, like every other human being. I was in conditions and situations that are very unique, that not many, people get to navigate in a lifetime. And I had a choice, I never believed that I was in a role. I never saw myself as somebody with the title, nor my husband at that time.
Yeah.
That's not how I live. I don't see people for what they do and their title. I want to see who's the human behind all this, who's left when no one's watching, right? Mm-hmm.
But is it difficult to live that authentically when the spotlight is on you all the time and every single move is dissected?
Yeah, I think we live in an era, generally speaking, that a lot of people are scrutinized for different reasons, whether it's on social media, in their schools, in their communities, and in politics. That spotlight just exacerbates everything. So I have much more respect and compassion for people who are serving with their families, whether I agree with their political opinions or not.
Yeah.
And the one lesson that I'm learning, and I hope that we dive into this, is the erosion of trust. We live in a collective illusion, and if we're not waking up very soon, and it's happening.
We live in a collective illusion.
We do.
That's profound.
We do. Dr. Todd Rose wrote a book called Collective Illusions, and we're primed for connection. We're primed to trust in our community, in our tribe, right? From the cave to with our tribe. And we're meant viscerally and wired to trust in each other. When people, AI, forces play with this.
Yeah.
And and really ignite the fear in us, the worst angel of our nature. This really creates an erosion of trust, and it's an erosion of democracy and of healthy communities.
But even that connection you say we all want, we have it with this now.
Yeah,
right?
that's the problem.
We have it with
that.
But it's not a fake connection, right?
It's the fakest connection you can get.
Yeah.
Phones, tablets, everything.
Yeah.
But, when you look at the addiction rates in our modern world, I'm going to ask you a question. So
Sure.
you two, just think about it. And anybody listening.
Yeah.
Can you find a habit that you have in your life?
Yeah.
Just think about it. That gives you temporary relief. Like, right? What is it? Shopping, dating?
It used to be working out for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It used to be yoga too.
Okay, but wait.
Yeah. All right.
That's the first part. But that in the long term,
Yeah.
medium or long term, it's not so great for you or for people around you.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
right? We all have one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an addiction.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
You talk about addiction versus connection.
yeah,
right?
and we can talk about heroin, sex, TV,
Yeah.
gambling, I don't know what it is, shopping, dieting, changing your appearance to conform. All of that is our cry and our bodies saying, hello, we can't handle the stress anymore.
Mhm.
We want to be who we are. We want to be our authentic self. And actually, authenticity is the kryptonite to collective illusion. And that Dr. Rose says this. And he has, I think, the biggest data think tank in the United States. And he's proving that most human beings, we all want the same thing for ourselves and our families.
Yeah.
It's all the same, but we're just in the illusion that we're so different. And we believe that the loudest voices repeated for as many times as possible, like the mere exposure effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's being used in politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to become the opinion of the majority. It's not true.
Yeah.
Because 80% of the content that you consume, for example, on social media, produced by 10% of users. And that 10% is not representative of who we are. Usually it's more extreme thinkers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be so discerning. But how to be discerning when you don't see who's producing, when you don't know where the information comes from?
Mhm.
So we're in a pickle. But if we wake up and if we help each other, we'll make it through.
Okay, so we're gonna get there. But before that, I want to talk a little more about your book because it opens up with reflection on your childhood and how the earliest experiences, from the time you're in the womb to very early on, really shape who you are and how you think. And you use the concept of origin wound, which I'd never heard before.
Yeah.
And so we were having this.
We're talking about this morning at
conversation,
breakfast, actually.
and we were trying to figure, okay.
I said, what's your origin wound, Carmen?
And I said, I have so many. I don't even know. Like,
So I said this interview with Sophie is going to turn into a therapy session because we're probably we're going to try to get Sophie to figure out what your origin
we
wound
wanted to
is.
talk to you about that, but we were trying to figure out our own origin wound, and we couldn't quite put our finger on it because there's so many different things. And I do know there's a distinction between. I almost feel guilty saying I have wounds because it's like people have such big trauma, right? People go through such big things in their lives, and the things that you think or I think were significant or harmful to me seem so minor compared to that.
This is immense what you're bringing to the table, metaphorically and realistically.
Yeah.
Literally. So we should never compare our suffering. So here's the thing.
Sure.
Trauma, this is the great Dr. Gabor Mate, who's a great friend of mine. Big T trauma or small T trauma, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. Trauma is not only something bad that happened to you, and I'm sorry if that was the case because it happens to a lot of kids, but it's also something that you needed emotionally,
Mhm.
physically, that never took place. That's trauma.
Mhm.
You weren't, you didn't go through physical abuse, so you're not, I can't complain because, my childhood on the surface seemed fine. You were raised by human beings. And I don't know, I mean, you're younger than I am, but the generations that came before us, they didn't know how to process trauma. They were never taught emotional literacy, emotional regulation, and self-leadership. We're starting now. This was my goal with the book, to start a movement of more awareness. And it's a human right to know yourself. We have to take this as a true gift. And I think it's being hijacked because we're so numbed by distractions all the time.
So there's a couple things that I want to pick up
But the wound of origin, wait.
Yeah, the wound of origin. Yeah, okay. Oh, we have to figure out what it is. So do you know what yours is, though?
Well, yes, it's abandonment because I had incredible parents, very loving, but who both had to deal with their own, issues.
Yeah.
And when I became a young woman, and my dad, who I lost a year ago, and He taught me how to be the most courageous woman I'll ever be.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wow, I lost my train of thoughts because I thought about my dad.
Sorry about your dad.
No, it's okay. You're right. Grief is part of life, and I'm learning so much. But yeah, so when I became a young woman, I don't think my dad knew how to deal with that, and he didn't know how to deal with himself going through what he had to navigate because he also had trauma.
Yeah.
So there was an emotional distancing, and I was like, well, I used to be your favorite person. Now what, right?
Yeah.
And your nervous system integrates this because he was like, I know that in my early years, we were like best buddies. He would like take me out everywhere and we would do everything together in nature. And then at some point, everything changed. It wasn't about me. It was about him, right? So think about maybe your childhood, how your parents, interacted with you. How did you truly feel? Like if right now you could go back into your little self, what does that child need? What is it?
Right.
Is it to be seen? Is it to be heard? Yeah. Is it to be hugged? Is it to be told you're good enough? What is it? Yeah. Take the time. You don't have to answer now, or if it comes up now, great, because listeners can gain from your insight. But the wound, whether it's abandonment, rejection, lack of validation, I matter, I don't matter, it's kind of all the same thing.
But don't you think everyone has some sort of origin wound, some sort of trauma, and then how you come out of it, right, is based on you and how you deal with things and how you move forward, right? So,
okay, that's
no.
Yes and no.
Okay,
so that's a big question because we're not born resilient. Okay, that's a total myth.
Okay,
babies are malleable, flexible creatures who need constant quality, nourishing care.
Right.
And the wound of origin starts with what we call epistemic trust. And let's just call it your first bond of trust that you build with your caregiver. I don't care if that's a grandparent, an auntie, or a biological mother. It doesn't matter. The person who held you, who looked at you, who fed you, who bathed you, who loved you, who played with you. Talk about play, super important for a healthy brain and nervous system.
Yeah.
How did that person take care of you? Were there 3 other babies crying in the background, needing their attention? So it was like, little baby, it's all good. Okay, next, right? Or was it a mother who was a bit depressed? Was it a mother who was isolated? Was it no mother? Was it just a father? All of that. It left a symphony. We'll call it a symphony, a neurological symphony in your brain, a wiring that you keep in every single adult relationship you have today.
So why do you think, because I've thought about this a bit, and you do, as you said, you realize that your dad was a human being at some point. We do hold our parents up to be like these things that are bigger than
just parents.
Yeah, just parents,
yeah.
Right? And then you realize that they have a story and that they are the way that they are because they have backgrounds as well. My parents, they did fight sometimes. I tried to kind of downplay that when, I had become an adult because I'm like, well, I had a good childhood. It wasn't that big of a deal. But then when I look back at some of these granular kind of details from childhood, yeah, okay, maybe that has carried with me to adulthood. So why do you think as adults we try to kind of downplay what might have been difficult in our childhood?
Survival mechanism.
Yeah.
You're doing it to protect yourself. May I ask you,
yeah,
if you, like right now, if you recall a fight between your parents, right? How old are you?
I mean, I was just on vacation with them. They had one, but I mean, in my childhood, yeah. I mean, it was when I was a kid, 6 years old, 7 years.
6 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you recall how you felt when your parents fought?
Well, I remember the story that you said about counting the flowers.
You remember that?
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of what happens. You kind of go into
find a way to
a zone, right?
So your parent would fight. You would feel scared?
Yeah.
Sad?
I feel scared.
A bit angry? How do I, what?
Yeah. And I would also not want them to be, I would worry that, okay, well, I don't want them to separate. I mean, parents have been together forever, right? 50 years. But I was afraid that was going to happen.
So you kept your voice in.
Yeah.
And you kept your authentic, truthful voice in to protect, right? As a survival mechanism. That's a lot of stress on a kid.
It is, yeah.
It's huge, love.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So, fighting it happens. right? We'll scream. Sometimes we'll just lose it. It depends to which extent you lose it, obviously, but we're human beings. Healthy anger has to rise up, and sometimes like, that's enough, right? How do you repair it is everything. How do you repair the conflict is a sign of your emotional maturity. Did your parents know how to repair? Like, will they listen to each other? Will they find a common ground after? Will they calm each other's nervous system by letting one person speak for at least 10 minutes? Remember this. You validate by not suggesting, not commenting, and not wanting to change anything. You listen. You listen. You said, thank you for sharing. Now here's my point of view. And the other person does the same thing. And by the way, when you're just about to fight, you should lie on the ground.
Why?
Why? Because your primal brain, your nervous system, understands that if you're lying, not on a bed, on a hard surface,
Okay.
your nervous system goes, whoosh. There's something primal. Maybe it's the cave. Maybe it's our ancestors who, when they would be lying back
like
into a hard,
Right?
it would be that there's no saber-toothed tiger. And this, of course, the child's pose. That's a pose that I have to bring students into every time I teach yoga, because child's pose and shavasana, the corpse pose at the end, where you're supported by the earth under you, and you can actually let go because it's safe enough to let go. But you asked me earlier on, why does everybody respond in the same way in life to what happened to them? And don't you just have to wake up and start healing?
Yeah.
It depends on the type of wound that you have, because if you've repressed your authentic voice your whole life, how can you even trust your healing process if you don't know who you are? Where do you even start? And this is all possible. Huh? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying some people start with more weight on their shoulders to get back up and to stand under their light. It's not the same process for everybody. So we have to make sure that we help the people who need it the most. Yes.
Did you guys fight like around the kids?
You know what?
Yeah.
I would say no. It's not fighting. We have them at heart, and we mostly agree on a lot of things when it comes to the kids.
Yeah.
And that is a blessing. Because,
So you never found you like lying down on the ground?
oh yes. Oh yeah. Many times. for different reasons. Just kidding. But no, I mean, we're humans. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
People fight. It happens. It's how you're aware of your behavior and how you are ready to engage in a process of repair.
Yeah.
And the longer you let it sit, sometimes it festers.
Yeah.
Festers, yeah.
Well, it's easier to be in escapism sometimes, though, is it not?
You want to talk about escapism?
Yeah.
Everybody has a refuge, right? For some people, it's like intensity.
Right.
I run marathons. I never stop.
Yeah.
It keeps me going. Everything's about action. Some people, it's completely, getting away from reality. I can't handle it. It's too much pain. I don't even know I have this much pain inside of me, so I'm just going to stay away from people. That's another refuge, another self-protection for survival. For some people, it's jumping from one relationship to the other, because what's going to happen if I'm alone? I'm abandoned. I'm left by the tribe. It's a death, right? Most of us have been through everything I just said in different ways. So the lesson is really about, are you aware that you're aware? This is like deeply philosophical, but are you aware that you're aware? Because when let's say I'm stressed out and I'm like, honey bunny, I see that you're stressed out right now. I do my somatic body exercises. I hold myself. So if it's going to be okay, my love, you're in your frontal striatal loop. Your little gerbil is running.
This is your inner dialogue.
Yeah, right?
Right. Okay.
Who's talking?
You.
To who?
You.
Okay, but one has a voice of wisdom and the other isn't.
They're both you.
Yeah.
So if you can witness yourself, you're in your highest self. And if you even know that you're witnessing yourself, you're liberating yourself of what it means to be truly human. And it's a sense of liberation of being human, because being human is miraculous, right? The fact that we're all here at in a studio together is like the chances that we were not becoming butterflies and we became humans is a miracle in itself. And then life happens and, you know, shit happens.
Shit happens, yeah. It can't be censored. We do cuss a lot on the show.
His mom calls and says it's too much.
My mom did say that I need to tone down the cussing.
Hey, she cares.
She does, yeah.
I guess maybe we can move from childhood to teenage years. So like when I also read your book, I was thinking about myself, but then I was also thinking about my kids. I've got 3 girls.
Oh, how old are they?
8, 10, and 13.
Oh, mama.
Yeah. And so I think about, okay, I kind of messed up the first one a little bit because, you know,
no, you didn't.
No,
they're
I didn't.
firstborns.
But because
The trial run?
no, it was so,
but they're
right? Like, it's like, you don't know what's going on.
You
with the
don't.
First one, you have no idea. Having the first one's really hard for me, the transition from 0 to 1. And I think I did a lot of things wrong. I mean, when I read your book, I realized I did. And the second and third are better. But now that they're in they're heading into, you know, tweens and teenage years, I know that you're raising teenagers too, and that's just a different challenge. It's its own beast. And so we wanted to ask you about some of your advice on parenting. So
Yeah, especially teenagers.
Right. So I have an 11-year-old, 16 and 18. And listen.
One we're seeing a lot on social media these days with his music career.
Yes.
and other things.
And other things too. We wanted to know what mom thought about some of those social media.
6'5" inches, 10-pound baby, Zav.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you can say, oh, I made more mistakes with the first, blah, blah, blah. We're going to make mistakes as humans, as parents, with all of our kids, right? It's just, and they all make their own mistakes too. Again, how are you conscious of those mistakes? How do you let go of guilt?
Yeah.
Because what is it? You did those mistakes. Okay, you're human. Then what? What do you do now that you know, right? Well, the thing that I'm learning, and this is a major lesson, everything that has been presented to me in the past, I would say decade, to me, on my path, has been about let go, let go, let go. I wanted to control to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in control, I control my environment. I suffer from eating disorders. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So it's not what I say to my kids, although I'm always like quoting like poets and philosophers and they're like, ugh, eye rolling, right?
Yeah.
And some of it will stay. But hardest core lesson, how do you treat yourself? How do you treat other human beings around you? This is what children pick up on. From an energetic standpoint, from a physiological standpoint, from a mental standpoint, they see me interact with me. How do I treat me? You know, if you're a mom and you're saying, baby girl, like, you know, eat healthy, be yourself, but you're always, you know, obsessing with diet.
Yeah.
Well, we live in paradoxes, right? And especially women and girls, it's like from a very young age, we're being pervasively informed on how to hate ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as a gender equality advocate, I've always tried to kind of fight against that because we're losing so much wisdom to this. And when we become parents, you know, the center of your universe is no longer you, it's other people, but they'll look at how you treat yourself and they'll look at how you interact with other humans. So whether I'm at the supermarket or meeting the queen, my children are looking at me. They're picking up on all my facial expressions, all my communications cues, even if it's conscious or not, they're picking up. Mm-hmm. And do they see a mummy who changes and takes on a role? Or do they see Sophie G in the house every time, right? That sense of integrity, presence, is what children pick up on the most. It's the legacy, it's the biggest gift you can give them.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, in doing our research as well, like we went through some of your social media. My kids do this too. I'll post something. I block them now because they comment on my post. So I see that your son. We see that your son sometimes is like, "What are you doing, Mom? Like, what's going on here?" You know, all kids think that their parents are cringe, right? Like if you try to like,
we're so uncool. They suck the cool out of us,
right?
But do you look at his social media sometimes?
I try not to look at comments too much. I mean, because now I really use my social media to carry the message, right, from my book into little video clips that can accompany people on their journey. The comments, I have to say, have been extraordinary. So I can't complain. There's always a little minority of people, but it's always the same minority, and you don't pay attention to, don't bring your attention to it. There is no point. Constructive criticism, no problem. But free, bashing, not interesting to me. It's drama. And truth requires no drama. Truth requires no drama.
Truth.
It is brief.
You're talking about raising teens and social media, and in the book you talk a little bit about how right now people put their value in how many likes they have and how many subscribes they have. I mean, with this venture, we need likes, we need subscribes, right?
Yeah.
So how do you talk to, and Zav is doing this thing where, he's out there doing his music. How do you talk to your kids about what they need to do with social media and how much value they put in it and how they should actually put it aside sometimes and actually have value of themselves?
Well, at 18, I don't have much of a say anymore.
You don't?
Well, I mean, no, actually, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because I know he listens.
Yeah.
And like recently we had a very important discussion, and I gave him my insight, and I know that it landed somewhere.
Okay.
I know. So I respect my kids. I also respect their journey. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, that's a tough one. Yeah, tough pill to swallow. But they're on their own journey. And every single one of them, I mean, especially Zav, because he's older, right? And he's more in the public eye. Like he even says in interviews, like, I don't want to be seen as someone's son, right?
Yeah.
That's legit, man.
Yeah.
Now, how you do it is not by proving who you are to the world. It's about discovering who you are to yourself. Two different things. But teenagers.
Is it hard to pull back though and not give advice when sometimes you want to? Because
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It's like I would need reins, baby. I would need reins. Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard.
Well, there you go. We were talking as well about kind of some of the things that we do to get centered. You talked at the beginning of this book about like a breathing exercise you do. Talked about yoga as well. How important is meditation? Because that is something that I used to do and then I moved away from, and I am finding a hard time because there's a lot that's gone on with me. I don't know if you heard, but
you know what? That's how I'm not into gossip. Tell me. I have no idea. No, but quick, one line. Truth is brief. What's going on?
My career blew up and now I'm doing a podcast.
Everything happens for a reason.
You think so?
Oh.
You know what was funny? And let me tell you actually about this, because this actually did put me into because, and we have another friend right now who is going through like a separation, right? And this was kind of a loss for me because I worked so hard for 20 something years. It was so much of my identity. And so, when that goes away, you're kind of left being like, who am I right now? Right. And it was difficult. I went to a deep depression. And so now with this podcast, like we're only like 8 or 9 episodes in, but when I was on the VIA yesterday, the attendant on the VIA train said, I like your show. And I said, which show are you talking about? No way I thought she was talking about the podcast. She's like, the new podcast. It's really good.
Oh.
And for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there is something after this loss. Maybe my identity isn't that person that I thought it was.
First of all, thank you for your vulnerability. Like it's received in my heart safely. And that's really important. That life has your back. She's speaking to you. She sent you this as a gift.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't sometimes.
At all. Right? And you have to hit your wall. You have to hit your wall.
Yeah.
We all do. Don't worry. We all have a wall.
And so, that's one type of loss, but then there's actual loss of somebody with death. And then there's, what our friend is going through right now with this separation. What would be your advice to her? Because sometimes it feels like, we're trying to talk and give advice, but people are wrapped up in their little loop, right?
Yeah, they're trying to protect themselves.
Protect themselves.
2 things. When do you want the pain? Now or later? It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You mean when you're trying to make a decision?
No. In life.
In life. Oh,
like,
okay.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to deal with it sooner or later? Your choice. Later might be harder. So when life throws obstacles at you, she's behind you, not in front. I have chills right now. Ooh. You're supported. You're not alone. And when obstacles are right in front of you, it's because somebody's pushing you in the back. There's a universal force, whatever you want to call it, God, whatever, I don't care. And it's pushing you forward. And sometimes it's going to push you forward that you'll fall flat on your face because you're not used to this. It's a place of discomfort. But to be able to sit in discomfort without feeling overwhelmed, and by the way, we all feel overwhelmed, okay?
Yeah.
Is a form of liberation. So life threw things at you, obstacles, pain, loss, grief. Same at me, by the way.
Yeah.
Same with you. Everybody has it in some way or the other. Unfortunately, sometimes when it's in the eyes of the world, it's not as fun to navigate. But
Yeah.
let's tell the truth. But the universe has your back, and you need to decide, how am I going to navigate this? So your person, your sister, your friend, right?
Yeah.
Our sister, or
Yeah.
that who's navigating a separation. When I separated, a great friend of mine, who was a very wise man, told me, Sophie, you chose your authenticity over your attachment. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
What? Yeah. Why does it make sense to you when you hear this?
Because that's, when you're choosing authenticity, you're choosing yourself. When you're choosing attachment, you're choosing someone else.
You're choosing what that person makes you feel like.
Right.
And sometimes that's even not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that person makes you feel like crap,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but it's the emotional home that you know, and that's the only thing that feels safe to you. So people who stay in toxic relationships, it doesn't even have to be so toxic. It's just not a relationship that you are growing with.
Is that just familiarity though? Because you're comfortable in that zone because that's where you've been for so long. Do you know what I mean? Like
What does familiarity mean to you?
Well, I mean, like if you've been in a relationship with somebody for, 15, 20 years.
Okay, fine, you're not having sex 3 times a week. Okay, is that familiarity?
But it can be difficult to see any kind of life on the other side of that person.
Well, the question is, are you with someone who wants to do similar inner work as you? Doesn't have to be the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But when 2 people are together for a long time, and the other problem that we have is, and this is from Esther Perel, longevity is not the sign of a successful relationship. I still have to gather my head around this because I'm still like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to be with the same person forever.
Yeah.
And life teaches you different pathways, different lessons, different ways of living where it can be full of love and it's not the dream that you had. But at the same time, we grow and people evolve and we dramatize relationships because we're immature. But there's a way to make things work. I find it's not perfect, as families who aren't together anymore in a romantic way, in the partnership.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the history of love should be celebrated. It's enough. It's enough to be celebrated. It takes 2 to still cherish that bond. Yeah. When you've been with somebody for 5, 10, 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
it's not something to just see as a failure if it doesn't pass the test of longevity. You already passed the test of longevity.
Yeah, that's right.
Then what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about this, but what that had to have been difficult. The entire world watching a separation, right?
But and I'll add to that, and you handled it with such grace, and that's kind of why we wanted to approach you with advice on that, because we were having a conversation with our friend about talking to you today. But further to that, because it's been a couple years, there's still such great public interest in your romantic life, in that of Justin's, and how does that even feel when you have to see pictures of someone you've been with for so long with someone else and in such a public way?
It feels like, yep.
It does, eh?
It does like noise. Yes. It feels like noise.
Okay. I'm
a human. That noise can be hard to hear. Yes. Whether it's visually or
Yeah.
sound bites. I want to hear the music. I practice to hear the music. When I take my last breath, I just want to be at peace with the question is, was I present enough in my being and did I love enough? And you know what? At this stage, there are some yeses that come up. And I want to make sure I stay on that path. And that path means don't attach to the noise, the drama, the gossip, the clips. How is that going to serve me anyway? And I don't control other people's choices.
But even if you don't want it to impact you, we're bombarded.
No,
by
it does impact.
Right? Like
it does impact. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm a human being.
Yeah.
But how you react to it, how you decant it, how you discern and take perspective from what is happening. You know, we're all good people in this. Like, let's put the criminals where they belong. And at the same time, even criminals. In the book, I meet an expert, and Closer Together, I meet an expert on dehumanization.
Yeah.
And he told me, Sophie, I've interviewed people who have committed crimes. And hate stems from a deep need for connection that never took place.
Yeah, well, there's a quote actually, because you're doing. I wanted to ask you about this quote because you want to move into this event that you're having. Gabor Mate, who I know is a close friend.
Yes.
But you said, or he said it, I believe it is, when I am harshly critical of another, I am recognizing something in them that I have not accepted in myself. And I think that goes to what you're talking about.
That's exactly it. And that's a tough one because I'm like, well, I'm not like that person if I hate what they exude.
Yeah.
But why do you judge it so harshly?
Yeah, I'm like that sometimes.
Well,
Hey?
me too.
Yeah.
But as long as you pick it up,
Right.
that you were like that in that moment.
Self-reflective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Were you like that
you're aware?
sometimes though? Like, were you ever critical of others, and then did you have some kind of self-realization, like, okay, I'm going to catch myself?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm critical of myself.
Yeah.
Harsh. I've learned through the years. Why is it that I'm so hard on myself? And so this means that I'm also hard on people that I love, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I'm trying to prove here? That's the question.
Have you answered it?
I'm still trying to.
So with this virtual workshop that you're doing in December, it's giving more people access to what you talk about, what he talks about, and just being able to access that wisdom.
So I've had the privilege, and I think it's really special in my life to have met incredible human beings who are trying to change people's lives.
Yeah.
And some of them are well known, like world renowned, and some of them are not, and they're as extraordinary.
Yeah.
But to have friendships with some of them, bonds of trust, is sacred to me. And, you know, a lot of experts out there are doing all the amazing work that they can, but sometimes it's not affordable to go, you know, and have like a 2-hour session with them right? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying with these workshops, Closer Together workshops, to share my alliances with and you know, ties to incredible experts out there who can give us actual tools to integrate into our lives, from relationship to menopause to breakup to everything. Because mental health is not just an absence of mental illness. It's the fabric of our lives. It's like the sweater, all these threads here.
Yeah.
It's how we move, how we love, how we eat, how we sleep, how we take care of each other. It's everything all together. That's the fabric of what it means to be well, or be aware. I would say be more aware of the life that you're living.
And, you know, part of this is trauma. Part of this is addiction as well.
Yes.
You have talked very publicly about eating disorder. And there's a story about a little girl coming up to you, and she told you for the first time that she had an eating disorder. She didn't tell anybody. She hadn't told her father, and you encouraged her to tell her father. How do you think that we get young people and just women in general to talk more openly about this, that it is an issue, and how did you get through that period of time?
Great question. Start with emotional literacy, emotional regulation, and psychological safety educational tools as early as possible. in childhood. Even in daycare, you can do it. Obviously, totally different type of language and interaction. I remember when my little one was in daycare, there were like happy faces, sad faces, angry faces. And we would ask the kids, how do you feel this morning? And they would point. And there's a way to present awareness of ourselves as young as possible. And honestly, science is showing us that this will serve us for a lifetime. So an eating disorder is just the tip of the iceberg. It was a drug of choice to numb my pain.
Yeah.
Heroin, sex, TV, whatever, name it. It's all drugs of choices to numb our pain.
So, and this is kind of what you guys will get into in this workshop, that, you know, addiction, you can replace that food with heroin or, you know, cocaine or alcohol or what have you.
Or fighting with your partner constantly.
But is it just kind of like you're trying to fill some kind of hole within you?
That's exactly what we're trying to do. That's exactly it. We're trying to fill the void of love. Every human behavior gesture is an attempt to love or be loved. These are Gabor's words. Every human gesture is an attempt to love or be loved. Now, even, you know, we're not going to excuse criminal behavior, obviously.
Yeah.
But remember, hate comes from a deep need for connection and love that never took place.
Do you think men have more difficult? I know the answer to this already, but do you think that men have more difficulty getting in touch with how they are feeling, getting in touch with perhaps there is loneliness or they are missing love, etc., as opposed to women? And how do we get men to realize that actually being in touch with themselves is a sign of strength as opposed to weakness?
It's the most beautiful thing in the world to be in front of a man who has, you know, I would say a solid posture. Your posture is reflective of your emotional state. Yeah. People who are scared or more like, you know, want to keep everything inside will have shoulders. Like, that's a yoga teacher speaking now, because I look at how people carry their bodies, their necks, their faces.
Right.
So a couple of things. Little boys are emotionally more fragile than baby girls. It's something that, you know, research has shown. And that really gets to my heart because I have two boys. Yeah. And I can see how that's true. And it's not better or worse. It just is. And very early, we tell boys, toughen up, man up.
Yeah.
Big mistake. Big mistake. So right now in our eyes, we have a kind of like a basal tear. It's the lubrication in your eye, because we couldn't cling our eyes if we didn't have it. If wind would come into the studio, you would have a reflex tear, and you would start being teary to protect your eye from the foreign object, whatever it is. And then comes the emotional tear. When chemists analyze those three types of tears, only one of them contains stress hormones. Which one?
Which one?
The emotional tear. Mm-hmm. Because when we cry and when we process sadness, we become fully human. A lot of boys are told not to cry.
Not to cry, yeah.
I've heard a family member of a world leader who had very much difficulty understanding how he led tell me, in our family, we don't cry. And I started crying when I heard that. Mm. Because I was like, okay, well, that makes sense now. So yeah. The more young boys are in tune with their emotions, the less reactivity we will have in those young men when hormonal, you know, changes start kicking in, and when they face obstacles. And this resilience also of, you know, when we play in nature from 6 to 10, the brain is learning through experience. So if you fall off the branch of the tree and you get like scorched, whatever knee, who cares? You'll get back on. Now we live in a society where the parents are freaking out because they're afraid that the child's going to hurt himself or herself or themselves. Or, you know, we don't trust the world anymore. We're scared for our children. So no, don't go on that bike ride at 5 because the sun is you know, toning down. And so children are meant to experience and push their physical and psychological limits from 6 to 10 as much as possible. When that doesn't happen and we're on screens instead, and we're not out in nature testing what we're made of, that's what we call the luxury of low risk, low cost of what it means to be a child. Low risk, low cost. Mm. What happens when you didn't build that neurological pathways of resilience and trying to see who you are at high risk, high cost of adulthood? The brain doesn't know how to deal with the obstacles, the failure, the rejection. It's way too much to handle. Nervous system hasn't been set for it.
Is that what a midlife crisis is for men? Or is that is that imaginary? Maybe that's not.
You know, we have inflection points. We
don't need a viral moment here. With it.
No, but midlife transformation happens for women too, love.
Yes.
It's not just men. And if it's done with discernment and you know that you're in it, it could be your era of wisdom.
Maybe that's what I'm going through right now. I mean, I'm 43, so maybe it's not midlife. That's what
you're going through. Yeah. I can hear it right now.
Well, it's just, it's at no point in my, adult life did I think at 43 I would be redefining myself and my career.
Do you think that's what I thought at 50?
Yeah.
Not even a chance.
But isn't it scary, kind of?
Of course it is.
Yeah, so how do you get over that fear factor? Because I had this, it was weird because I was like having this chat with the woman on the Via train yesterday after she told me this. And I was like, yeah, I was in a really depressed state, but I decided I have to pick myself up and keep moving forward. How did you decide to pick yourself up and keep moving forward? Because wasn't it like shattering? Because for me, it was. We're not talking about the same thing, but we are talking about the same thing in a way. Yeah.
I love life.
Yeah.
I choose life. I choose my aliveness. But when you say depression,
yeah,
you know, I think it's Jim Carrey who used the expression deep rest, depression. When you are in a depressed mode, you take a deep rest from all those masks, all that identity that was intertwined with your roles and your job. And
it's fake.
Love.
Yeah.
It's not just fake.
Yeah.
It's inauthentic.
Yeah.
And it's draining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is tiring, isn't it? It's tiring to keep up appearances. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might lead well into our final topic, which is about purpose. And there's a quote in your book that you referenced from Jay Shetty where he says, your passion is for you and your purpose is for others. When you use your passion in service of others, it becomes your purpose.
Let's talk about trust again. So Abraham Maslow, the father of modern psychology, on his pyramid of growth, how a human being can evolve, the first benchmark is having food on your table, right? A roof over your head, psychological safety. If there's no emotional safety, it's pretty much game over. Very hard to evolve. So when we were talking about resilience and how people get through troubles, well, we get through troubles differently depending on how our root of emotional safety was wired inside of us. Mm-hmm. So he studied with an indigenous tribe. And apparently he could have shown a very different model of modern psychology to his peers. Because looking at how they lived, because I believe indigenous cultures hold a lot of wisdom that we totally need more of, he would have put not emotional safety as a word there because they didn't have it. Community. When Industrial Revolution, the modern world, quote unquote, fragmented communities because we were now competing with each other for success. Self-made man, self-made woman, complete illusion. Everybody you meet on your path is part of your success story, whether it was a good or bad encounter. Then we fragmented communities and we fragmented the individual at the same time. So we're kind of like putting pieces back together. That's why people feel like discombobulated in this world where we're being told how to act, how to look, not to age. We're counter nature. Yeah. And it's making us sick. And as Gabor says, you know, our bodies are doing every single wise thing they're supposed to do, raising the flags. This is too much, too quick, too soon. This has been going on for too long. I can't take it anymore. Whether it's a heartbeat, whether it's, a sickness, our bodies are talking to us all the time. And if we don't listen, the body says, I'm shutting down. Yeah. Depression.
So in this workshop that you're doing, are you going to teach folks how to cope with some of these issues?
Yes, what we're trying to do, it's funny because I just had a conversation about this with Gabor, and we're going to really, Gabor has so many years of experience and workshops and, the Compassionate Inquiry course, which I'm a member of. We want to give people tools on December 9th, and you can go to the link in my bio on Instagram or on my website, SophieGrégoireTrudeau.com. Yes. I'm making these workshops accessible for $39, and I'm making them potent. There's no time to waste here. Although at the beginning, I'm always doing breathing exercises with everybody. And if it's new to someone, and the first thing I say is let's let go of expectations. Just trust the process right now.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a student of what I study, when I'm in the seat of the teacher, I want people to feel safe. I want people to feel like, okay, this is an hour and 30 minutes from me where I get to be with people who actually really care about me and who want the best of me in me. And there are tools to be able to work at this. So we're really going to try to dig into the tools.
Would you say that that is your purpose now, to take some of this knowledge that you have learned, put together in this book, and now take it out to folks?
I'm trying not to tie my identity to it. But yeah, I think I want it to be my service.
Yeah.
I love humans. I want to help people, not by thinking that I have all the answers and let me guide you.
Yeah.
No, but let me, leave an opening into my world so you can see that in the end, we all want the same thing. And we all wish for being seen by the world and feeling free, and not feeling free from the world, feeling free in the world.
We've talked on other episodes about how polarized things are right now. And when you talk about how we all do want the same thing, how come you think that gets kind of lost?
Because we live in this collective illusion. And this is what Dr. Todd Rose was talking about. And in the book, I think I kind of point to this. I don't call it collective illusion, but it's a way of making you feel, first of all, that you don't belong. And people who self-silence because they can't feel that they can be their authentic self are the portions of people who have less social trust. So social trust is, do you trust in institutions, communities, governments, right? The people who don't usually are stuck in their fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. Remember this, if you're stuck in there for too long, it's difficult to feel compassion and empathy. So look at the state of the world right now. If we know that half of the population, I think this is more in North America, I would have to go back and look at the data, are super stressed and their survival mechanisms are always kind of on, your body's doing the job of keeping you just surviving. So the space inside of yourself from a nervous system angle is not to feel compassion or empathy. It's to save yourself first. So no wonder we're starting to lose trust in each other. This is giving us the root problem of the bigger picture. And I want to make sure I focus on that root problem with so many incredible people who are doing the same thing, really.
We end on this thing that we call the uncensored rapid fire.
Uh-oh. Is this where you get in trouble?
No. Do you have a favorite child?
What? No!
But don't
Absolutely not.
No, I would say secretly at different points in time.
Do you have a
it will
favorite child?
switch.
Honey, this should be off the record. Don't let them hold it
They're
against.
not going to listen to this, and I haven't said which one.
Listen.
At which point in time.
But I do really try to elongate the cuddling with my youngest.
There you go.
That's for sure.
Okay, fine.
Okay, go-to karaoke song.
Oh, oof. I haven't karaokeed in a while, but recently I stepped on stage in front of thousands of people for a speech, and they asked me, what's your coming up on stage song? I'm like, what? I don't have one. But I chose Triumph from Bishop Briggs.
Okay.
And I just learned that I'm going to meet her soon, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you need to have a partner or romantic relationship to be fulfilled?
I used to. Yes, I used to.
Now?
No.
Okay.
Okay. What is the strangest thing that you've heard people say about you that is not true?
Oh.
The strangest rumor, what you open the paper.
That I caught COVID from Lewis Hamilton and Idris Elba.
Oh, right.
It's not true?
I wish. No.
But weren't you guys
We're
at an
actually
event
gonna ask
together?
her that. We can't ask her that. That's definitely a conspiracy theory.
It's absolutely untrue.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Last one.
People even ask me, was it both at the same time? No, it wasn't.
Biggest misconception people have about you?
I wouldn't know. I don't pay attention to that.
We get that answer a lot.
We do get that answer. Kevin O'Leary said that.
Really?
Kier said that. Kevin O'Leary.
I feel loved.
Okay. So
Let's just end on something positive.
divided times, how do we bring Canadians closer together?
Thank you for putting the title of my book in there.
Do you like how I just seamlessly did that?
Mm. Know yourself. That's how we do it. That's the root of everything. Know yourself so that you won't feel threatened by people who don't think like you. And in Canada, we're so diverse and we have so many people who carry different types of, cultures and ways. And it's a blessing. We represent the world in one place. We can be a lesson for humanity. Yeah. I still believe in it.
Sophie Grégoire Trudeau, we appreciate you being such an open book. We appreciate this book as well. We hope folks that are interested in learning more about this go to that workshop. It is on when?
So it's on my website, sophiegregoiretrudeau.com, or follow me on socials, Instagram and Facebook, Sophie Grégoire Trudeau, and the link is in my bio. And I can't wait to see you there. And I have to say, you're on to a good start, guys. This was really interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.